The debate, the angle you took was purely IQ, and that became a talk of town when you did that.
Not just that, but ethics.
Yeah. Now, his argument back to you was, to be fair, he said, if that's the case, why are countries like Honduras, why are countries that are so Christian, how come they're not innovating? Why are they not winning? What was your argument to that?
Well, actually, they are. They do make better civilizations. That's one. Much better civilizations. What killed and has been killing South America for a long time is the integration of communism and socialism. Their relationship, especially with the USSR, and the spread of communism. You saw this with Che Guevara and others. You also saw recently, right this second, it looks like we have another conflict that's brewing there, and this is with what? A socialist nation. You had Chavez, who was a socialist as well. A lot, and you see this in Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is behind Western Europe in many innovative ways because of what happened with communism and the integration of communism. And it takes a long time to shrug that off. I mean, it's such a destructive ideology. But I still think that civilizationally, we're talking about ideology here. Islam's ideology leads to inbreeding, right? Communist and socialist ideology leads to a lack of innovation and stagnation, which also has long-term side effects.
Those are two different things and destructive in their own unique ways.
Correct.
One of them is values and principles. The other one is economically.
Well, and also values and principles. Communism is very much an atheistic view. The very first thing the USSR did, in fact, was actually put a separation in between church and state. The idea here was that Christianity was a thing. Remember what they did first. The communists killed the Orthodox Tsar of Russia. That's what they did, and they were taking out the Orthodox Church. What the communists did to the Orthodox in the Eastern European nations is blood-curdling. I mean, it's just chilling when you read the stories of what they did to them. And it's because the Orthodox Christians, they have complete and total opposition most of the time to communism based on the ethical purviews that Orthodox Christians hold. And so they are instantly persecuted in communist nations. So again, it's the rejection, I believe, it's a spiritual war, it's a rejection of Christianity itself that actually leads to these worse outcomes, even in communist nations. I don't think it's just purely economics. I think that it's, I consider all of these battles spiritual.
Communism recommends incest. I don't know if communism...
It recommends abortion. It's where feminism came from. The ideals of feminism came from communist feminist revolutionaries. The exportation of communist ideals are always academic, and the academics always, the very first thing they do is secularize the nation, move God out of schools, move God away from everybody, right? I do think that the ideology of communism is very much antithetical to the teachings of Jesus Christ and the teachings of...
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But the difference is you don't see the link of incest with communism.
No.
All the other stuff,
yes.
Fully agree. Listen, my mother said they were all communists. So
yeah.
I've read the Communist Manifesto. I've also read Mein Kampf, so you kind of have to see where both sides are. But yeah, incest is a different thing. So to me, it's interesting. By the way, did you see the clip where the mayor of London is being asked about incest in the Pakistani community in UK? This just happened. Did you see this?
No.
You haven't seen this?
Do you think they watched my debate?
And by the way, and then they pushed him on crime, and you should see how, by the way, first one is going to irritate the hell out of you.
This is the Sadiq, is it Sadiq
yes,
Khan?
Yes, it is. Rob, is this the one about incest? Which one's the incest question with Pakistani? Go to that one. Is that crime, or what is he talking about here? There's two of them, not this one. There's two of his.
Oh, okay, hang on.
I sent you two of them. Okay, but the first one was.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I believe this is the first one.
Okay, so if you want to pull one of them up, one of them.
This, Pat?
Play the clip. I'll let you know which one it is.
No.
Oh, this is it. Watch.
I'm saying exactly what I mean. I'm saying, have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
What does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
Today we need to give a full answer. Can she be clear what she means by that? I'm not sure clear what she means.
What?
How much clearer do you want me to be? look at the gangs that they've uncovered in other parts of the country. Do we have those gangs in London? It's a simple question. The answer is very simple. It's yes or no. I'm not asking you where those gangs are because the police might not want them to be disclosed. I'm asking you, do we have those sort of gangs in London?
I'm not sure why she's so nervous to say what she means.
Are you kidding?
What the hell are you talking about?
I am saying exactly what I mean. I'm saying, have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
He can't answer it. He's what? I mean, he's Muslim. He can't say anything. He can't. Just like when Piers will never talk negative about them. Piers will never say anything negative because he lives there. And what do you think Sadiq Khan is going to say? That's unbelievable. The fake arrogance, ignorance of not know. Like, what are you talking about?
Suicidal empathy.
Oh my God.
That's sad. Yeah.
It always comes down to suicidal empathy, and the progressive left is the people who push suicidal empathy the most. What's happened in Europe, in Western Europe, and what's happened in the UK is one of the most unjust and completely criminal things that I mean, as far as justice goes. These people have consistently voted over and over and over again for less mass migration to their nation, and their government sells them out year after year after year after year after year. And then they go, oh, I don't understand why they're rioting in the streets. It must be because they're a bunch of racists. And it's like, if they weren't before, well, they certainly are now. But the thing is again, this doesn't happen except that you forced our hand. You forced it to happen. These people forced the hand of the people now in the UK to actually have to do something about this. And then they're surprised when they do. And it's like people have a set of determination. You can determine who comes into your nation. That's up to you to do. Everyone else is allowed to do this. Japan does this, right? Asian nations do this. Nobody's ever screaming about Japanese xenophobia. You ever heard a leftist once? They're like, wow, we really got to do something about all the xenophobic Japanese who don't let any immigrants into their country. I've never heard it one time.
Nope. Never.
Because they don't care. It has nothing to do with that at all. It has to do with virtue signaling. This is all about virtue signaling. And the suicidal empathy that comes with virtue signaling. All of you people will think well of me if I'm so suicidally empathetic that I will sell my own nation out. Hey, at least everybody thinks well of me.
This is the second one he does in regards to crime rates and stabbing, how it's been increasing, and he tries to twist it, and the guy holds his foot to the fire. You got to see this. Holds his hand to the fire. Go ahead.
Not law and order in London under you, mate.
Right.
Can you sit there with a straight face and say crime is down? Since you became mayor in 2016, knife crime has gone up by 27%. Violence against the person has increased by 26%. Robbery has increased by 57%. Theft has increased by 37%. Shoplifting has increased by 109%. Jeez. Sexual offences have increased by 64%. All crime since you, Sadiq Khan, became mayor of London have increased by 26%. Don't Londoners deserve the truth about the state of crime in the capital from you?
You deal with the list that was read out. Theft from motor vehicle down by 18%.
Over what date range? Over what date range? Over what date range? Over what date range? Since you became mayor of London, over what date range?
Over the last 9 years.
Not the last month. The last 9 years. I know you don't like the truth, but apologise to Londoners over your tenure that you have allowed crime to skyrocket.
By the way, they're getting vocal.
Well, is it too late, Pat? Is it too late? These guys.
That's the debate.
That's the debate. Well, here's the thing, because you said this, Andrew. They didn't vote for it. They didn't want it, but the government's doing it. So at what point are the people going to say enough is enough? Because we talked about this earlier in the week, Andrew. I guarantee if Gavin Newsom, God forbid, becomes the president of the United States in 2028, the first order of business, because he's pro, give every illegal, doesn't matter your status, give them health insurance. He loves them. He loves illegals. The first order of business is going to be open up the border. At what point do we as Americans just say, hell no, and we have to get involved ourselves? Because when the military, they sent the military to pick up barbed wire to let these people in Texas. Like, it's a purposeful invasion. When do our soldiers, they want to talk about all these orders that the soldiers are getting for Venezuela. When do we say, no, we're not doing that shit? And we have to we have to do something because it's happening here. 20 million people are here.
Well, the thing is I'm skeptical as to how well the, quote, counter-revolution goes. I think a renaissance is more likely, and hopefully that's what we get as a renaissance instead of a counter-revolution. Ultimately, I don't have a lot of faith that there's going to be nearly as much backlash as other people have faith that there's going to be, and here's why. Let me explain my reasoning. There's food in the fridge.
Yep.
And there's air conditioning, and you can still drive down the road, right? And for the average person who goes to work and goes home, these problems are still out there.
Yep.
They're not in here. And until they become in here problems, most people are very passive to these types of things. And that's how things can get so bad so quickly before people actually begin paying attention. And then usually it is too late. What's going on right now and what's going to continue to happen is the left is going to continue the mass importation of people who have value structures which are different than these domestic populations, and they're going to cover it up by any means necessary. The last debate I did on Pierce was with Mark Lamont and a few other leftists, and these leftists, not Mark Lamont, right, luckily, but the other leftists who were there, we were talking about hate speech laws in the UK, and they were like, good. Good. We're happy that if you send a text saying that somebody is, the F slur, the quote F slur, which, by the way, I don't even think is a big deal to say, right? Yeah. Probably one of my favorite words on planet Earth to say. I greet friends with it, right? Yeah. I mean, greet friends with it.
Yeah. It's never towards a gay person.
Yeah, it's never. But the thing is, but even if it was, who cares? You don't send people to jail for texting the F slur to people. That's ridiculous. That's insane. This is a nation which is founded, a lot of our constitutional values come from the philosophy of English philosophers like Hume and others who were adamant about the various philosophies of freedom, and they're just bastardizing them. So they'll cover it up. They'll cover up using, they'll throw you in jail. They'll do any of these things like they did with Tommy Robinson, like they do with others. And I don't think at all, I don't share your enthusiasm, in other words, that until the situation goes into the home itself and people are feeling the effects there, I think you'll continue to see the same sort of passive behavior that you've always seen. Now, if you can give me a week where Americans don't have enough to eat, I'll show you a government with a head on with all their heads on a spike, man. But until we get there,
how do you clean that up? How do you clean UK up? How do you clean it up?
You have to take the Sargon of Akkad. Interestingly enough, I recently watched one of his videos. He gave a bunch of criticisms to Piers Morgan in the video. He starts the video with, "I don't like Piers Morgan," in the very Sargon of Akkad way, right? But in this video, what he says is, he's trying to create an academic term for a remigration. He doesn't say, throw them out. He says we're going to remigrate them. So we're going to remigrate you back to your country, right? We're gonna do remigration.
Why would they agree to it?
Well, they wouldn't agree to it. That's the thing, right? It's like I don't think you'll find agreement, but I do think that this is what the push is fast becoming in the UK from the right wing is, look, it's not just enough now for us to cut this off, right? We're already in it. We have to actually start removing these people and sending them away. But of course, what is the first thing that the left does? You're Hitler. Hitler tried to send people away. Hitler tried to remove people groups from his country. Hitler. And so because that's been like the kind of go-to, that's a fascist policy. You're going to send people away. You're going to remove them from your nation, just like the mustache painter in Germany did. And this is why I think you see so much of the backlash from the irony bros. And let's say the irony bros like the Groypers, for instance, right? 90% of the time they're referencing the Hitler thing and this and that is to make fun of that conditional. This conditional being this. Every policy I have that you don't like doesn't make me Hitler, you idiot. Okay? Me wanting to remove dangerous people from my nation and migrate them back towards their country because the people here no longer want them here does not make you Adolf Hitler. That's part of what the irony bro thing was always about. And it's like people kind of miss the forest through the trees on that, I think.
Yeah.
My name is Andrew Wilson, host of The Crucible. As you guys know, I'm a political analyst and a political satirist. If you want to talk directly with me, as many of my audience have requested that they be able to do, I've been able to carve out a system on this platform, Connect, in order to do that with you. That's on Connect. You can ask me whatever questions that you want. We can talk debate. We can talk strategy. We can talk about basically whatever it is that you've been wanting to talk with me about. And I hope to see all of you there.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.